The blizzard arrived without mercy, swallowing roads, silencing power lines, and turning the entire town into a frozen, helpless shadow of itself. As temperatures plunged and heaters failed one by one, fear crept into every home. Yet high above the valley, on a wind-swept ridge everyone once mocked, a small cabin glowed with quiet warmth, its windows fogged with life. Inside that cabin, a forgotten veteran and his old dog sat calmly by the fire, unaware that by morning their home would become the only place that never froze. If you believe in the silent hero, in second chances, and in people who prepare quietly while the world laughs, take a moment now to like this video, share it, comment, and subscribe to the channel. These stories matter because resilience often lives where no one is looking. The veteran's name was Daniel Harper, a man the town used to recognize when he first came home from service years ago. Back then, people shook his hand, thanked him for his sacrifice, and told him how proud they were. But pride fades quickly when pain lasts too long. Daniel carried injuries that never fully healed, and wounds no doctor could see. Loud noises startled him. Crowded rooms drained him. Jobs never lasted because sleep rarely came, and when it did, it brought memories that left him shaking before sunrise. His family tried at first, then grew tired of waiting for him to be normal again. Friends slowly disappeared. Eventually, Daniel sold what Louis had and moved to the edge of town, buying a neglected plot of land no one wanted. The cabin on it was old and strange, built decades earlier with double-roof design that locals joked about. They called it wasteful, unnecessary, and foolish. Daniel never argued. He simply worked. His only constant companion was a dog named Rusty, a large mixed breed he rescued from a shelter after returning from service. Rusty had been listed as unadoptable, too quiet, too watchful, too damaged. Daniel understood immediately. From the first night, Rusty slept near the door, alert but calm, as if guarding something precious. Together, they became invisible to the town, two souls surviving without asking for attention. Daniel spent years repairing the cabin by hand. He reinforced the walls, insulated every crack, and restored the unusual double-roof system he discovered had been designed to trap heat and block wind. Between the two roofs was a thick air pocket packed with insulation, something modern homes had abandoned for cheaper designs. Daniel studied old manuals, remembered field survival techniques, and trusted what experience had taught him. Cold, he knew, was an enemy you respected or it killed you. The town laughed when they saw him stacking firewood months before winter. They shook their heads when he installed backup stoves and gravity-fed water barrels. They joked about the extra roof, calling it paranoid. Daniel said nothing. Rusty watched quietly as always. When winter came early that year, it came hard. Snow buried streets overnight. Ice snapped tree limbs like matchsticks. Then the blizzard arrived, worse than anything the region had seen in decades. Wind screamed through the valley. Temperatures dropped so low that furnaces failed and pipes burst. The power grid collapsed before midnight. Families huddled under blankets. Elderly neighbors panicked as heaters went cold. Emergency lines were overwhelmed. Roads disappeared under walls of snow. The town froze, literally and emotionally, as fear spread faster than the storm. On the ridge, the cabin stood firm. Snow piled against its walls, but the double roof deflected the worst of the wind. Inside, the temperature barely dropped. The fire burned steadily, heat trapped efficiently by the structure Daniel had trusted when no one else did. Rusty lay peacefully near the hearth, ears twitching occasionally, eyes calm. Daniel listened to the radio as long as it worked, hearing reports of outages, stranded families, and emergency shelters filling beyond capacity. He felt a familiar tightening in his chest, the old instinct rising. In the service, you did not wait for permission when people were in danger. You prepared, then you moved. At first light, Daniel bundled up and stepped into the storm with Rusty at his side. Visibility was poor, but he knew the land. He hauled sleds loaded with firewood, blankets, and food down toward town, making trip after exhausting trip. Rusty led the way, navigating drifts and fallen branches, never slowing. One by one, Daniel reached homes where people were struggling. He delivered supplies, helped restart stoves, and guided families toward the ridge when their houses became unlivable. Some were hesitant at first, remembering the strange veteran they once mocked. But cold erases pride quickly. By nightfall, people filled Daniel's cabin. Elderly couples, parents with children, neighbors who had never spoken to him before. The double-roof cabin held the heat. The fire never faltered, and for the first time, the design everyone laughed at became a miracle. Children slept safely on blankets. Parents cried quietly in relief. Rusty moved gently among them, offering comfort without demand. Daniel worked without rest, tending the fire, melting snow for water, checking on everyone. No speeches, no anger, no reminders of how they had treated him. Just action, just service. The blizzard raged for 2 more days. When it finally loosened its grip, emergency crews reached the town to find dozens of residents alive because one man had prepared when no one else did. News spread quickly. Reporters came. Officials asked questions. They all wanted to know why his cabin had stayed warm when everything else failed. Daniel never blamed the town. He explained simply that the cabin was built to endure, and that endurance mattered. He credited old designs, patience, and a dog who never left his side. Recognition returned, but different this time. It was quieter, more respectful. The town repaired roads leading to the ridge. Neighbors brought supplies, not out of pity, but gratitude. Daniel accepted them kindly, but did not change. He still lived simply. He still prepared carefully. Rusty still watched the door. As spring arrived, the cabin became a symbol, not of survival alone, but of humility, of how the people we overlook often carry the knowledge that saves us. Children waved when Daniel passed through town. Older neighbors nodded with understanding instead of judgment. Rusty aged that year, his steps slower, but his presence just as steady. Daniel built a warmer sleeping space near the fire just for him, grateful for every quiet morning they shared. Just before the ending, take a moment to comment below and share what the story made you feel or who it reminded you of. Your words might help someone see strength where they once saw silence. When the next winter came, the town was ready. Homes were reinforced. Emergency plans updated. And on the ridge, the double-roof cabin still stood, warm and patient, a reminder that sometimes the people we ignore are the ones holding the knowledge that keeps everyone alive. The veteran and his dog did not freeze when the world did, because they had already learned the hardest lesson of all. Survival favors those who prepare quietly, love deeply, and never wait for approval to do what is right.